Raise your hand if you've seen films such as The Joker, 13 Reasons Why, Euphoria, Taxi Driver even, or maybe American Psycho. Yeah, I have. Or raise your hand if you've seen social media posts of people doing something rather mundane, but with very exaggerated captions such as, I let the intrusive thoughts win. Or for the parents of the crowd, have you heard your children say something like, I'm so depressed after a long day? Mental illness, once a taboo topic, has become increasingly prevalent in media in our daily lives. However, because of this normalization, we have reached a point where using clinical terms has become a habit. When words like trauma and anxiety are tossed around, detached from their original meaning. This phenomenon is called concept creep, and it combined with misrepresentation is leading people to become enamored with a false narrative surrounding mental health, resulting in ignorance, romanticization, and glorification of the issue. Now, misrepresentation often starts from mass-consumed media. Films like Silence of the Lambs have changed the public's perception on topics such as psychopathy, with many starting to associate psychopathy with robo-intelligence and charisma because of the film's portrayal, though the myth was actually quickly debunked. Similarly, shows like 13 Reasons Why romanticize dangerous topics through their irresponsible portrayals of them. I first watched the show when I was 12, maybe, and while 12-year-old me could have sworn it was a masterful piece of art and literature, the current me only feels a sense of unease. Unease for how the show frames a character's suicide as a revenge story, resulting in a horrifying implicit message. Suicide will make people care. And the aftermath of these kinds of portrayals can take a concrete form, with studies showing a 29% increase in suicide rates among youths aged 10 to 17 after the show aired. When storytelling is approached with care and thought, it can foster empathy and promote understanding. Take Pixar's Inside Out, for example. It does an excellent job of highlighting the role complex emotions can play in our lives. It is a prime example of responsible storytelling, as even during the making of the film, Pixar consulted many professionals such as Dr. Dashner Keltner, a professor of psychology at Berkeley University. Because however we twist it, creators are responsible for the works they put out into the world, especially when it can impact the majority and their perception on an unknown topic. But this raises a new question. If positive representations of mental health can impact everyone involved, why are negative repercussions of it only contained to youth? Is it because of our lack of life experiences, our lack of self-awareness? I say maybe the answer lies in our connection to the characters on screen. Youth, generally more impressionable and possessing a higher sense of empathy, often connect and identify with these fictional personas we see on screen. This first took a physical form in 2018, when people would post a photo or compilation of photos of a character from a TV show or movie on Facebook with the caption, "Literally me." And the posts itself were harmless fun, but the problem arises when youth relate to these characters. Characters like Norman Bates, Pearl, the Joker, characters who take the lives of others and possess traits such as mania and narcissism. Combine that with the usual struggles of adolescence, and you have a recipe for glamorization. These usual struggles of adolescence, this desire to belong, to be validated, is another compelling force that's pushing youth to glamorize many mental illnesses. I am guilty of this as well. I remember in middle school, when I had a particularly bad day, I would pour all my feelings into this beaten up journal I used to carry. But when writing, I would catch myself changing actions, emotions, exaggerating the scenario to somehow make it more depressing or serious. I didn't understand it then, but I guess I was ashamed. ashamed of feeling sad or angry for normal, simple reasons. I needed my sadness to be cool, aesthetic, because I assumed it was an essential part of being interesting. It was only when I could let go of these fictional struggles I've created for myself could I truly connect with others. But it's hard to reach this understanding with yourself when this type of glamorization extends to the platform we interact with daily, social media. The glamorization that takes place on social media often comes from a place of ignorance. Because social media has, in general, done a lot to help destigmatize mental illness. It has given everyone a place to connect and share their experiences under a mask of anonymity. But it has also led to a rise in overthinking and self-diagnosis. This is due to an influx of shared experiences, blurring the line between what is a temporary universal experience and what is a symptom of mental illness. A common trend almost surfacing from this misconception is a rush to stick labels onto our problems. People start to believe being a little bit neat means they must have OCD. Having mood swings must mean they are bipolar, or being stressed must mean they have anxiety. But the truth is far from that. Just like how having a sore arm doesn't mean you have broken it, experiencing one aspect of a mental illness does not necessarily mean you have that disorder. So, is there anything we can do to help? To validate the struggles of those who are suffering without playing into this trend? How can we change the culture we have built around mental illness, where it's almost a boy cry wolf culture, where serious struggles and phrases such as, "I'm gonna kill myself," is ignored because we hear them so much in a casual context that we have become desensitized? Can we stop this ignorance, this romanticization? Regretfully, concept creep is unavoidable, and we can't control what the media posts or what they depict. But we can start from educating ourselves. Maybe if we all seek to understand and empathize, we can create a future where mental illnesses does not have to be represented and be in competition with their synthetic counterparts. Maybe if we all stop and think about what we consume, can we create a future where struggles and stigma is replaced by support and not by glamorization? Thank you.